Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the ASRC All-Star Race tonight. We got a lot of good drivers, a select few to make it here tonight, and we got some money on the line to determine who is the best of this season. Tonight we're at the Dirt Bristol for some action-packed high bank, slinging some dirt here with some clay over top the surface. We'll get ready for some group qualifying here. And it looks like we got some cars rolling to the end of pit road for qualifying. That being Chuck Darling out here in the 88 machine. Chuck Darling from Saginaw, Michigan here in this 88 machine. He's got some dead short race car wiring, horsepower happenings, and north side towing on this 88 machine. For his time lap, we'll see where he can go on the time and scoring. As he completes his first time lap here, he will put in a 16.53. Another car in this group who is currently the slowest out of this group, that'll be Andrew Payne from Fair Oak, California. He is a Pro Late driver here from the Downforce Sim Racing Development. Also, Quick Time Motorsports Media, V&H Fresh also on the car here. He's on his final time lap. The other car out here in the group, the fastest of them so far, is Tim Rogers in the Skull 48 machine from Binghamton, New York. He is also sponsored by Rogers Cars and Mobile One. Tim Rogers looking to jump back up to the top of the scoring, but will stay P number 2 after this first group. And the first to get it is Chuck Darling in that 88 machine. We'll see if anyone can beat that lap as we get ready for group number 2 to get rolling. The first driver we'll be taking a look at is the 38 machine of Dave Payne from Cherville, Indiana. He's got ASRC on the car from the league, and he'll start his first time lap here. Also out in this group, Aaron Kirby and Bobby Mattingly, who we'll take a look at the next couple laps. But Dave Payne is sponsored, like I said, from ASRC and some and we'll take a look now at the 91 machine of Aaron Kirby. Aaron's running a special scheme here tonight. Actually, this is his real wrap, the real car that he runs in real life. I heard he might have some fans watching at home. As you'll see, the first lap, folks, not going to be as quick as these other laps, unless of course you're Bobby Mattingly, who we'll get to next. But Aaron Kirby running the real life wrap from Marysville, Tennessee. He's got Whitehead Insurance, Smoky Mountain Diesel, and of course, a FMS Rapids Graphics done by himself. Currently, the quick time right now is the 3 of Bobby Mattingly, the uncle of Trevor Mattingly, who is on a roll. Bobby is from Kentucky out here tonight. He's got Hugo's Truckee and, of course, Mattingly Speed Shop, and he puts that Speed Shop P number 1 here with group number 2 down in the books. Now, we'll get the next rolling, and that is going to be Blake Steele and the 37 machine of Brandon Marlowe out here on the speedway. Blake Steele, from Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. He's got Candy's Bear Bonds on the car, B&S Graphics, and Lewis Chassis under that body here tonight. Blake Steele looking to make an impact. He's had a good couple runs the last couple weeks. He's going to try and get back in the podium here tonight. Maybe get himself some money, as with this format, folks, we got a lot going on. We got heat racing, a Australian Pursuit, and of course the main event with an invert throughout it. So we'll have to see where there goes. Brandon Marlowe, we'll take a look at him. He goes P number 1. We'll take a look at him now with this Hot Lap Heroes number 37 machine. Brandon Marlowe from Benton, Missouri out there on the car. He's got the 7, 8, 9 wraps, and that car always looks sweet. That white, black, and green combo. You can never go wrong with that. But Brandon Marlowe sits P number 1, just beating out Bobby Mattingly for the quick time, as Marlowe looks to improve this time on his final lap. Blake Steele able to go to P number 3. Marlowe able to improve on his time. He'll put down a 16.17 as we get ready for our final group, that being Tanner Hutchins, Trevor Mattingly, and Jacob Lassiter all getting ready as we look at the double OH machine of Tanner Hutchins. Hutchins with this sweet pink scheme, excuse me, folks, and he's looking to have a good qualifying here, as he qualified on the pole last race but slid on back further. He's hoping for a little bit of redemption this time by, but Tanner Hutchins now takes his first time lap in this double OH machine. He's also part of the T-Mat Speed Shop, so a lot of good drivers in that group making their way through here tonight, as Tanner Hutchins will complete lap number 1 and he'll go P number 2. A very solid lap. I think this track's coming in as these drivers continue to do laps. We'll take a look now at the 151 of Jacob Laster. He's also in the 789 Designs group. He's from Dresden. He's got the Max Screen, the Spud Shop, and LH Hot Lap Heroes number 51 machine of Jacob Laster. He's looking pretty good there. He puts a P number 5 from that lap, but the man of the hour, he's already put that thing P number 1. He's looking for more. That is T-Mat himself, Trevor Mattingly in the 13T, the man that cannot seem to be stopped. He did get stopped once, but on the very last lap, as he looks for some grip, but not quite. But he gets the job done and gets the quick time award here tonight. Trevor Mattingly gets the job done in that 13T, and man, that's a heck of a lap by Trevor, just beating out Tanner Hutchins in second. Brandon Marlowe will round out the top 3 as we get ready for some heat race action here as we get everything sorted on out. But Trevor Mattingly gets the job done, and don't go anywhere, folks. We got a lot of good racing action here. As we'll go to commercial break. We'll be right back on the other side, folks. Don't go anywhere. As we come back to the Bristol Motor Speedway here, folks, we're actually getting ready for the Australian Pursuit. So this will be a 10-lap event here for the Australian Pursuit. That being, of course, where the fastest guy is going to start last, but he might not win it. Where that means is once you get passed by the fastest car, which will be Trevor Mattingly, your race is over. So the goal is to be the last car standing. Trevor Mattingly has to get through the field of 11 cars to pick up the Australian Pursuit win. But we'll have to see if he can get that job done, because he's got a lot of cars to pass. He pretty much needs to pass a car a lap as we get cars out there on the speedway here and get ready for the Australian Pursuit. So like I said, folks, Trevor Mattingly will start in the back. I think we'll single file them on out. But whoever wins up front wins the show. So if Trevor doesn't get through the whole field, someone like Aaron Kirby, Andrew Payne, Tim Rogers, Chuck Darling, any of those guys in the front could win this thing. So it's a little bit about risk and reward. You know, you don't want to battle too much in the lead. Slow yourselves down and let Trevor be able to catch you guys. But you also don't want to give that win away just by riding in second. So a lot to be had here for the Australian Pursuit, but we'll keep an eye, of course, on that 13T. That thing looking very sporty, of course, here tonight. He's going to be the car. The cars in front of him don't want to see in their mirror, as if he gets around you, like I said, you'll be asked to pull it down pit road, and your Australian Pursuit is over. So we get the cars rocking and rolling on the speedway here, and we get ready to do our first ASRC Australian pursuit here at the Dirt Bristol. Looks like Aaron Kirby in the 91 machine will lead us to the green. Andrew Payne in second, Tim Rogers third, Chuck Darling fourth, Dave Payne is in the fifth position. Sixth is Blake Steele in the 12, the 151 of Jacob Lassiter in seventh. Eighth is Bobby Mattingly. Ninth goes to Brandon Marlowe. Tanner Hutchins is in 10th, and the man that needs to get around all these cars is Trevor Mattingly, starting shotgun on the field. So if you're the likes of maybe Tanner Hutchins, Brandon Marlowe, you're going to try and get to the front as quickly as you can and keep Trevor Mattingly as far behind from you as you can, because these laps will click down very quickly here for the Australian pursuit. But it's going to be action-packed because, like I said, a lot to be figured out in these 10 laps. As I believe this time the iRacing pace truck will make it down pit road. We'll be going green here as Aaron Kirby gets away with a great start. We are green flag racing here as Kirby gets away with a 10 car length gap over the rest of the field here. Sorry, it's a 15 lapper as we get some cars battling here. Tanner Hutchins now already in the hot seat to lose that spot and off at turn number 4, not able to clear. Trevor Mattingly will not, so Hutchins stays alive for another lap as we got some 3 wide race in action. One car dropping to the back, that's Bobby Mattingly. His race will be on over, he'll pull it down pit side, but so far in front, looks like Trevor Mattingly able to clear, not quite. Tanner Hutchins with a great run on that outside as Dave Payne very slow in that 38 machine, he's done as well. So yeah, if you get past, your race is over from a car behind, so Dave Payne is on out in this as well. So, you got to not only be ahead of Mattingly, you got to be ahead of the car that started behind you, as Chuck Darling now might fall to the 12. As we see further back here, Tanner Hutchins still holding on strong in that second lane to Trevor Mattingly, not quite able to get on around, as these guys still duking it out side by side here for the Australian pursuit. Up front in the second position, Tim Rogers still trying to make the pass on Andrew Payne, not quite able to do it, so these guys still duking it out just like at the back. And looks like Tim Rogers not able to get the run that high side. Very dominant around Bristol. You got that progressive banking, especially on the dirt, very tough to do. As we see now, Tanner Hutchins bringing that thing pit side. Trevor Mattingly finally got around him, as it looks like Chuck Darling did get passed by Blake Steele, so he'll be pulling it pit side as well. You're now at the start finish line. We get 8 laps to go, and these guys still duking it on out for a second, but Tim Rogers not quite able to pull off the run from that inside lane. So Tim's continuing to try, but not quite anything to show for it just yet, as he's trying to make it just below the slick that time. Way too much in the slick for that 48 machine. He's going to have to cut that thing a little bit lower if he wants to try and get a run on the 93 of Andrew Payne. Last time by as well for those keeping track. It's contact for second. Tim Rogers able to clear Andrew Payne with a little bit of contact, so that will send Andrew Payne out of the show, and he'll be asked to pull that thing pit side. Now Tim Rogers might be under fire from Blake Steele, who is breathing down his neck there. But Blake Steele also has some pressure behind him. That's Brandon Marlowe in the 37 machine. As there are only 5 cars left out here on the speedway. You see Trevor Mattingly gaining ever so slightly on this group, but it's going to be hard to catch him here with 4 laps to go. And Aaron Kirby has about a half a second lead over Tim Rogers, so he's sitting pretty in this 91 machine out there in front. This time by, he will see 3 laps to go for this nice looking 91 machine out there in front. It looks like Tim Rogers will get past, maybe not fully done, so Tim Rogers stays alive for another lap on that top side, but Blake Steele making it that inside work somehow on that 48 machine. Can Blake Steele get the job done off at turn number 4? It is close, but I think he just got him by a nose, so I think Tim Rogers will be out of this race. So Blake Steele up to second position. Brandon Marlowe right there on his back bumper, but already popsicle sticks up in the air, folks. It's the final lap this time by, as Aaron Kirby needs to put together one final good lap here, and he'll take home the win in the Australian pursuit here as he comes through 3 and 4 for the final time. And off of turn number 4, Aaron Kirby in the 91 machine picks up the Australian pursuit win. He gets the job done. Blake Steele also stays alive to finish second. Brandon Marlowe in third, and Trevor Mattingly able to climb all the way from 11 to 4. So very impressive run from all these guys, but Aaron Kirby getting the job done in this 91 machine. We'll be pulling him down here in a second to talk to him and see what he thought of that. And I tell you what, that car looked pretty sporty for starting out there in front for the Australian pursuit. As we got, actually, I believe our heat race of the night right up next here. So we'll be talking to Aaron Kirby here in a little bit as we get our heat race underway. So this now was set from the Australian pursuit, folks. So this order here for the heat race was of course set by who was eliminated first, and then going down in that order from the Australian pursuit. So Bobby Mattingly in the 3 will start on the pole. To his outside will be Dave Payne in the 38 machine. Starting in third is Jacob Lasser in the 151. Fourth goes to Tanner Hutchins in the 00H. Fifth is Chuck Darling in the 88. Sixth is Andrew Payne in the 93. Seventh goes to Tim Rogers in the 48. Eighth is Trevor Mattingly in the 13th. Ninth is Brandon Marlowe in the 37. 10th is Blake Steele in the 12th. And rounding out our heat race is Aaron Kirby in the 91 machine. As we get ready to rock and roll for our heat race number 1 here tonight, we will have these drivers go for 10 laps to determine the order for the All-Star main event. This time by, folks, it's the wave lap. Wave what you got for these drivers for their heat race. We'll see these guys duke it out, like I said, for 10 laps, and we'll see what the starting order is for the All-Star race. But it's not quite that simple, as there'll be 2 stages in the main event. 150 lapper and then a invert to the last 25 laps. So nothing is set in stone when it's all said and done, but we got some of the best dirt drivers here in ASRC getting ready to duke it out here in the heat race for the starting order here as the iRacing pace truck heads down pit road, and we get ready to go green flag racing action here as Bobby Manley jumps on the loud pedal. We go green flag racing here at Dirt Bristol. Bobby Manley with a great start out there. Dave Payne trying to defend. He's up in the marbles, so we go 3 wide into turn number 3. Hutchins in the middle, Laster down low, and Dave Payne up top as we continue to Dave Payne able to hang on to that second position. He's got that run from that top side. Laster and I were trying to make that inside line work. As you can tell, the slick stuff is continuing to get wider and wider as Dave Payne will jump down low. He'll try for the race lead off of turn number 4. Dave Payne now without the momentum here. He tried to take advantage of that momentum, go where a car is not on the speedway, but now he's got the tough time of hanging on to that inside line. As you can already tell, Laster sliding in the wrong direction on the inside line. As contact here, Dave Payne gets into Andrew Payne. That sends the 93 around, and up and over he goes. We got our first car leaving the racing surface and upside down. So that will bring out our first yellow flag involving the 38, 93, and the 13T. As we see Dave Payne get a little bit, I want to say, on that flat. Andrew Payne nowhere to go, tries to get out of it. Trevor Mattingly have no time to react, and up and over that 93 car goes, and he'll park it on its lid, and that will probably do it for the heat race for the 93 car. We'll take a look one more time here as we look. Maybe let's ride on board with the 93 car, see what he sees as he all of a sudden gets a car in his left side door and get some help from behind. Nothing he can do. And then the slow roll on over here as we get the Andrew Payne train helmet cam from the 93 car, and that thing will come to rest on its lid, and his heat race will be on over. So up front, we got the Delaware double restart. That meaning Bobby Mattingly will start on his own up front. It looks like Dave Payne will take the claim on that. He'll start at the back of the field. He tapped on his roof under yellow flags and, hey guys, that was my bad. I want to start at the back. So that will allow Tanner Hutchins and the rest of the field to move up one spot. It looks like Hutchins will elect to restart on the outside lane. That will put Jacob Laster back on that inside lane. So Laster's night still hopeful as he was sliding on back a little bit in that inside line, but now has another redemption here, as I believe this time by the light should go out on the iRacing pace car, and we'll get ready to go green flag racing here next time by. As it looks like that 93 car of Andrew Payne able to get that car uprighted, and it looks like it refired, so he will join us back in this heat race. So the 93 night is not over as well, so that is good to see there from Andrew Payne. As we now look at the leaders here, Bobby Mattingly will once again lead us to green in that 3M car, as Mattingly will jump on the loud pedal here with that Hugo trucking, and we'll go back green flag racing action here from the ASRC All-Star race as he gets away with a great start here. Trevor Mattingly will look at here, trying to sort through this traffic as Blake Steele trying to make that inside line work. Same with Laster in the 51 down low. Trevor Mattingly right on the back bumper of Hutchins. I mean, you can't get much closer than that on corner exit. He's trying to keep that thing wound up on the bars and keep that momentum in it, because that's the key to tonight here at Dirt Bristol, especially in these pro late models. So these pro late models are a crate motor, I want to say, if not LS based motors, some sort of crate, you know, not killer horsepower, but definitely enough to make some fun, but not enough to maybe drive through the field. As Trevor Mattingly able to get the slide job on Tanner Hutchins. Hutchins will now slide low and probably will try and do the same here, 1 and 2, able to clear Trevor Mattingly. So slide job city here for P number 2, and this now allowed Bobby Mattingly to get further out in front in that 3M, as Trevor Mattingly able to take it over. But here comes Hutchins once again with the slider of his own. Popsicle sticks up in the air here. 2 laps to go here for the heat race, for the All-Star race. This time by, we'll see the white flag. Bobby Mattingly will lead the way with those slide jobs for second. Trevor Mattingly able to hold off Tanner Hutchins now for second. Hutchins will slide into third. Tim Rogers trying to make something happen at Laster, but will not be able to do it. But off of turn number 4, Bobby Mattingly in the 3M will get the job done. He'll pick up the heat win for the All-Star race. Trevor Mattingly in second. Tanner Hutchins will round out the top 3, folks. As we get ready here for the warm-up. So, with a break in the action, we're going to go talk to some winners already here tonight. One being the 93 car of Aaron Kirby. We're going to go try and dial up him here in a second and see what he thought of that Australian Pursuit and see how that car is feeling for this main event. Aaron, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, man.
Alrighty. So, we got to be talking with you. You picked up the win in the Australian Pursuit. I mean, how was that here on iRacing? And have you ever ran a Australian Pursuit here before?
No, I've ran a Fast 6 dash in real car, and it's just as stressful as that was.
Yeah, I tell you what, that had to be very stressful, because anywhere in the field, you know, you get past and your race is over. And luckily, I mean, kind of not luckily, but luckily you started out there in front and you had to worry about everyone in your mirror. I mean, that 91 car looked pretty fast. I mean, what was your mindset going into it, and how was the car throughout the run?
Well, so the track's a little odd, or it was during that, and it was totally different in the Consolation, which was weird. So you could send it in wide open and kind of drive straight towards the wall. crack the throttle and get right back into it, and it was hooked up. So that's how I was able to kind of pull out. But in the last little conce that we just ran, now granted, I was trying to stay a little bit towards the back because I know we invert, just being honest. But even if the second you crack the throttle, it wanted to push. So that was different. I don't know if there's a fuel difference or something in the car between those two sessions, but I mean, I think it's going to be a fun race. It's slick right through the middle. You've either got to hook the left front down on the bottom where it flattens out at the track, or you've got to be ripping the cushion. And so it's going to be kind of exciting because a lot of these guys are going to be scrambling for position.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's going to be an awesome one, especially this main event, 50 laps, and then an invert to go 25 at the end. And I know you already have a little bit of a game plan set, but Aaron, I know you're running a little bit special scheme here tonight. Why don't you tell the folks watching at home a little bit about it?
Well, this is actually my real car wrap. I don't really run it in iRacing very often, but I thought, this being the all-star race, and we're all kind of going to get an opportunity to talk to people. I was going to put the people who really support me in my real car on iRacing, and I told all those guys to go look it up and watch, and so hopefully they are. I definitely got to thank everybody that helps me in real life get to the track. And all the people on iRacing. Like, I made sure to put T-Matt on this car. He helps me a lot in iRacing. You guys have watched him all season. He's a pretty dominant guy. Him and Bobby and Tanner, they're all three teammates of mine. But, it's kind of cool to be able to put my real car in here and run it and give those guys some exposure.
Yeah, Aaron, I tell you what, it looks awesome out there. And to pick up that win, I bet it looks even better. And hopefully you can get the job done here for the main event. And Aaron, before we let you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to? Because hopefully we'll be talking to you by the end of the night as well.
Yeah, Noble Knights Construction, Warrior Race Cars, Prestige Lawn Care, Whitehead Insurance, FMS Rapid Graphics, which is my company, T-Matt Speed Shop, Rio Missions, Rio Townsend. Rio Missions is an awesome organization. Really helping a lot of people around the world. I don't think Anytime Towing and Recovery. They're my main sponsor. I put them on the deck lid. I actually work for those guys, and Andy Parker, the owner's an amazing guy. He really supports me a lot in this sport. So just awesome people. Smoky Mountain Self-Defense, they're on the back. I'm trying to think. I believe that's everybody. Smoky Mountain Diesel Performance. Can't forget those guys.
All right, Aaron. Well, best of luck to you, and we'll hopefully catch you on the flip side.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Alrighty, folks, that was the winner of the Australian Pursuit. Now we'll talk to the winner of the heat race, that being Bobby Mattingly. Bobby, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
And 4, yes, sir. I got you.
Alrighty, man. How you doing tonight? And I tell you what, that 3M machine looked pretty good in the heat race. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, unfortunately, got out of the Australian Pursuit pretty early. I messed up a little bit there and allowed Brandon to get around me, so I hit the invert right when it come to the heat race.
Control here.
Got to thank Aaron, FMS Rapid Graphics. He does an awesome job on wraps. Got to thank Kellner Contracting, T-Matt Speed Shop, Hugo's Trucking, Kellner Contracting. These guys for putting on this awesome league, and you for doing the awesome broadcast.
Alrighty, Bobby. Well, best of luck to you. It looks like drivers are getting to the grid, so hopefully we'll be talking to you when it's all said and done.
I appreciate it. I hope to.
Alrighty, folks, that was Bobby Mattingly in the 3-car getting the job done for the heat race win. So, folks, we head over now to the main event, and we'll run through tonight's starting order. Starting on the pole for the main event, the all-star race itself is the 93, the Payne train. Andrew Payne in the 93 machine starting to his outside. Is Dave Payne in the 38 machine. Starting in third is the 91 of Aaron Kirby. Fourth will be Blake Steele in the 12. Fifth is Chuck Darling in the 88 machine. Sixth will be Tim Rogers in the 48. Seventh looks like Jacob Lassiter in the 151 with Brandon Marlowe starting to his outside. Tanner Hutchins in the 00H machine will start 9th. Trevor Mattingly in the 13T will start 10th. And starting shotgun for the main event here is Bobby Mattingly in the 3M. So folks, as you can tell, a little bit of a invert from the heat race, a full field invert. And then of course these guys doing 50 laps and then another invert to decide the final 25. So a little bit of strategy to be had here for this race. As this time by, it's the wave lap. Give your favorite drivers a wave here as we get ready to go. Green flag race in action for 75 total laps for the ASRC All-Star race. We have the 11 best drivers here on the dirt that could show up here tonight to do battle and to see who can come off with the crown with the first ever ASRC Dirt All-Star race. Who will it be? Let us know in the YouTube channel as Andrew Payne fires on off. We go green flag racing here for the first 50 laps. Andrew Payne away with a great start. He'll jump right to that top side. I think that lane will be hard to beat as we see Chuck Darn get a little bit loose and he'll slide on back. He'll go through the sucker hole in the slick stuff. He'll be dropping to the back here, and I think we'll see some drivers, you know, play a little bit of strategy. Maybe Bobby Mattingly, we maybe heard it from him. Maybe Aaron Kirby. We also heard he has a game plan in mind for this main event. As you see Tim Rogers trying to make that inside line work. And as you can tell, you know, very tough to make it work. We'll go a little bit closer to look, but I don't know if you guys could see it, but I could. He got on the flat, so Bristol isn't all the way banked, you know, down low. It's a little bit flat, and if you get on that, that can really upset the car, you know, make it very darty. And we saw that last time by from the 48 of Tim Rogers as he continues to try and make that inside line work. He's got a lot of time to figure it on out because I think that would be the only place to pass when it's all said and done. But right now, if you're trying to stay out there in front like Andrew Payne, Dave Payne, I think you got to park that thing on the top side and make sure that no one can get around you. The easy way, let's say, as we got some cars breaking away, the top three of Payne, Payne, and Steele. Currently the top three, then the second group, Kirby, Marlowe, and Trevor Mattingly in this second group here, trying to make that top side work. As one car gets the wall, I believe that was Blake Steele, just laying a little bit of fender on the wall. You know, no harm, no foul when it's all said and done. But, oh, Dave Payne with a move to the race lead. That allows Blake Steele to shoot to the top side. So Andrew Payne loses the lead. Dave Payne tries to get the lead, but may lose it here to Blake Steele. So Dave Payne falls back into second. Now Andrew Payne stuck on that inside line, and I think we'll see that 93 V&H Fresh machine drop into the back, at least of this group. He'll probably jump back up behind Trevor Mattingly back to that top side. As last time by, the fastest car out on track was the car in now 10th place. Tim Rogers in the back of the field, maybe some clean air, trying to figure out something, but put in the fastest lap of the session so far. As with that battle for the race lead, that has bunched up the top five here. All of them underneath a blanket here with already 10 laps in the book of 75. One car laying a fender on the wall. I believe that was the 91 of Aaron Kirby. He's trying to make something happen here right behind Dave Payne. And the key here tonight, folks, especially at a high-speed track like Dirt Bristol, you want to keep that car as clean as you can. You don't want any sort of, let's say, spoiler damage. As you can see, the 91 of Kirby, a little bit of spoiler damage to that car. So we look back now to Brandon Marlowe, and that does affect the performance just a little bit here on the iRacing simulator. But especially with cars that are momentum based as much as they are here tonight, like these Pro Late models, that can have an effect when it's all said and done. As now Brandon Marlowe will look to the inside of Aaron Kirby here for the second position as we jump back out here and look at the battle for the third position. think Kirby's one of the top running cars right now with that a little bit of that spoiler damage. So you gotta wonder how much does that affect. Even though, you know, in real life, you know, these guys can lay fenders all day long on the wall, no sort of damage, no sort of implication to performance here on iRacing. It sadly does have a little bit of an effect, as now we get some 2x2 racing action as Jacob Laster has joined in this fight here from third on back the top two, able to pull away here as this track continues to change, and looks like it's getting more and more difficult to drive. As we'll now, let's jump on board with Brandon Marlowe here on the 37 machine, see what he's doing to try and make this inside line work. We'll listen here to the throttle usage and seeing what he's doing to try and make this inside line work. But as you can see, folks, very slicked off. You're either at the very bottom or all the way against the wall. And as you can see, just constant dried off slick stuff here already on the Bristol Motor Speedway. Brandon Marlowe continues to keep that 37 machine down on the inside line, trying to maybe learn something for this invert, because when it's time to go, it's time to go in the second half. But Dave Payne trying to make a move for the race lead once again on Blake Steele, goes to the inside line and loses quite a bit of time to our race leader. I mean, over a quarter of a second there, lost to Blake Steele. So these drivers already 20 laps in of their 50 scheduled for this first group, as now Laster tries to make this high side work over Brandon Marlowe here for the 5th position. Andrew Payne currently running in the 7th position. Maybe we'll try and dial up Andrew Payne here. I think he has his mic going here in the race, and I think we might be able to dial him on up. So let's see if we can get him to chat it up. We'll see if maybe, hopefully we don't cause any mistakes from the 93 of Andrew Payne.
Hello.
Hey Andrew, is this a bad time to catch you?
No, it's not.
Alrighty, man. So we saw you lead here tonight, and then you and Dave got into a battle 3 wide here as you're under fire from Tanner Hutchins here in that 00H machine. How's this 93 car, and what happened there to have you drop back here now to the 8th position?
I tried to pull a crossover on Dave, and like we're talking about, it's a little too slick, so I wasn't expecting him to check up as much, and I was more expecting a slide job, and sort of just put myself in a bad spot. But yeah, out front I'm okay. Now I'm just sort of just trying to scramble a little bit. I'm not a huge nerd guy, as you know, and you know, just coming out here to have some fun. I got invited by Zach, so thanks to him. But I mean, these guys are really good. They're really fast, and really do know what they're doing here. So
I was gonna say, the 11 best from ASRC here on the dirt, as you now come under fire from Tim Rogers. I know Dirt Bristol, you know, can be a little bit like pavement racing, really momentum, try and be as smooth as you can, but this track looks like it's changed a ton since we last saw it at the start. And I tell you what, Andrew, it looks like it's a handful at this point. Very slicked off as we now see Dave Payne go to the race lead.
yeah, once this upper groove started to get slicked off, it's who can run like pretty much on the wall, and I can do it in like the Xfinity cars and some of the NASCAR stuff, but the dirt stuff I'm not quite there with. But you know, I'm learning. That's what I'm actually out here for, is to learn and get myself better. But yeah, this is a lot of on throttle time, and you know, I'm still not great at throttle control in these cars, but I'm learning, and it's been fun so far.
Alrighty, yep, Andrew, before we let you go, you're over halfway through this first stage, and an invert to be had. Is that playing into your mind at all with starting position maybe for this last 25 laps?
Well, I mean, the invert's always sort of in the back of my mind, but at least the start of this run was just to run it and keep it out front as long as I could. And, I mean, I don't want to play invert games because I could totally just drop to the back, but I don't want to do that, and I just want to keep it clean. And though the good thing is I know that there is a caution coming up, so we should be able to get much back out here and not too far off.
Yep, and I tell you what, Andrew, keep the job up. That car looking very clean, that spoiler looking pristine. So keep it on up, and hopefully we'll be talking to you before the night is on over. So best of luck to you, buddy.
Yep, thank you, Brett.
I believe we might have Zach Heiser in the booth. I know, Zach, if you want to say anything about tonight's events and how you thought of it so far.
Well, I think it's been a lot of fun, and I got to tell you, I want to jump in here. We held this carrot out until the last moment to see how everybody would play with the inverts, but the winner, the leader, at the end of 50 laps is going to get a $5 bill. So there is some incentive now to be at the front of this field when that caution flag comes out.
And you know what? I don't know if Dave's listening live with the broadcast or maybe has a spotter up there listening, but he's looking pretty good for it. That 38 ASRC machine looking very sporty, and he's pulling away from Blake Steele in the lead, Zach.
I tell you what, and behind him is a mess of cars. You talk about 11 best ASRC dirt guys, and you're not lying. Blake Steele is holding off 3 of the best, a couple former champions as well. This is a lot of fun to watch here right now at Bristol.
Yeah, I tell you what, Zach, it is, and we see almost some 3-wide racing action right behind Blake Steele. Kirby trying to make something happen, and it seems like a lot of guys trying to make that inside work, even though, you know, it's slower. I think they know that they got to try and learn this track here for this invert to try and make something happen, because, you know, you can't pass anyone if you're all single filed on that top side.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. The Australian Pursuit was fun, and for me at least, that was racing that I used to do when I was growing up. It was an Australian Pursuit, and then follow that up with a heat race and inverts, and you know, all the stuff that we all remember we used to do all the time in racing that we don't really see a whole lot of anymore. This has been a lot of fun here, for at least for me, from upstairs in the race director seat. It's just a lot of fun to watch, and you know, we're 37 laps in right now. We're about to see a big change in this whole thing when we get that competition caution and 25 laps to the finish.
That is very true, Zach. I tell you what, it's been a blast here in the booth. I'm sure it's been fun to watch. I can't wait to even rewatch it myself. I hate the sound of my voice, but I think this broadcast will definitely be worth watching as we see a battle now for a second. Zach, overall, you know, you run this dirt league. You know, you gave the invites to these people as well as the top 10 in points, and yeah, I tell you what, you picked out some great drivers, and yeah, let us know your thoughts, and if maybe, hopefully, we might see a return of this sometime in the future. Oh, it's contact for second. Kirby gets in the back of Blake Steele there. As we got one car slow. I believe that's Chuck Darling on the front stretch, a little bit off the speed.
All right, sorry about that, Brett. I was doing some race control stuff, watching that 88 car, as you mentioned, see if Chuck's having a problem here. I think he is. Yeah, looks like he's going to let the field go by, so... All right, anyhow, yeah, you know, this has been a lot of fun. My first chance to admin a dirt league, to admin a league at all, really. Tanner and you guys, you know, all trusted me to kind of fire this thing back up. David started a dirt league, but he really wanted to race in one. And, you know, to have that opportunity, you know, I have a lot of real-world experience to kind of come in and say, you know, hey, let's see what we can do here to try to make a real run at a solid dirt league. And you know, I'm trying to implement some rules and regulations from the real world and balance those with iRacing. And you know, we got a great points fund for this season, you know, $100 plus in points money at the end of the year for these guys who stick it out all throughout the season. But we've also got great sponsors who've come on board to put together all of the races that remain this year. And you know, I guess if there's anybody listening who comes upon this and they're looking for a clean, professional, you know, where you're going to have groups of guys to race with. We've got the elite that are really fast, that are going to compete to win every week. We've got the mid-pack guys, and we've got the back markers, and they're all important to ASRC. You know, I want everybody to race with us every week and just come out and have fun and have guys to race around and compete with and know that it's going to be clean racing. And I think we've really got a great product here, and you know, we're looking forward to growing that. We're getting set to launch a Facebook page for the public consumption here coming up, as a matter of fact, tonight after this race. And, you know, we're doing a lot to try to increase the exposure for our drivers and their teams and what they're doing on the iRacing platform. And also to expose, you know, ASRC and American Sim Racing Club and the product that we think that is so good, putting that out there on the iRacing platform.
Oh, man, awesome stuff, Zach. Has a lot of good stuff in the pipeline to grow this league, and I'm excited. I'm here for it. So, Zach, awesome stuff from you, but going back trackside now, we get popsicle sticks up in the air for Dave Payne. Brandon Marlowe has caught him, so we're going to go back to some racing action here.
I appreciate it, Brett. Yeah, here we go. $5 on the line.
Yeah, as you see here, folks, Dave Payne under fire from Brandon Marlowe. He has ran him down for the white flag here in the stage. Dave Payne trying to hang on for this $5. He's trying to keep that car in the top side. Marlowe trying to make something happen here for the final time here in 3 and 4 before we get the stage break and get to re-rack him. But off of turn number 4, Dave Payne will win stage number 1 of the All-Star race. Heck of a run by that 38 machine. He actually, a little bit fun fact, he picked up the last win in American Sim Racing Club for the pavement late models. 2 years of trying, and he finally gets the job done. So Dave Payne continues that hot streak and picks up stage number 1 win. He'll pick up $5 here in that 38 machine as we now get ready to rock and roll for the final stage. We're going to go re-rack them, restack them, and get ready to go back to racing action. But we'll go to commercial and we'll come back ready to go racing. Don't go anywhere, folks. As we come back to the Bristol Motor Speedway, we're going to go try and get a word with our stage 1 winner, that being Dave Payne in the 38 machine. Dave, you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
But yeah, I can hear you.
Alrighty, now I got you here. And Dave, I tell you what, you picked up stage number 1. You're keeping that hot streak going. Where I just mentioned on the broadcast, you picked up the win last week for the Wednesday night pavement super late model series. Now you pick up this win. How you feeling, man? It's got to be pretty good to beat some of the best here that we have tonight.
Yeah, I think I just got lucky with the format and the invert and all that, and the guys didn't have enough. There's guys in this field that I'm never gonna be able to beat. Sorry, I'm listening to Zach and race control too. So I got lucky on the invert, and I was able to kind of hold him off. Brandon was coming hard. I had no idea how I was going to keep him behind me. I think he just ran out of laps. So I don't know. We're going to be starting from the back, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Dave, and a little bit of insight from you, a little bit of good news. I got word from our announcer, Zach Heiser. You got $5 coming your way from that win from that first stage, so heck of a job from you, and can't wait to see what you can do here. This is where it gets very tough, though, Dave. You got a few cars to pass in these 25 laps. What's the game plan looking forward?
Yeah, sorry, Brad. There's a lot happening right now in race control, but yeah, we'll see what happens, man. You know, it should be a good race. These are a good group to race against, so.
I agree, Dave. Well, before we let you go, if you can get a word in, you know, anyone you want to thank, give a shout out to before you turn you loose for these last 25 laps.
Yeah, I'd like to thank ASRC for putting this on. I got them on a car, you know, best league there is in iRacing. So thanks to all the guys that are here tonight and supporting us.
Alrighty, Dave. Well, best of luck to you. Hopefully we'll see that 38 machine moving to the front in these last 25. Alrighty, folks. That was our Stage 1 winner, Dave Payne, getting the job done. We'll see where he can end up when it's all said and done with these last 25. As I believe the lineup here looking pretty good when it's all said and done. It looks like, oh man, folks, it's going to be hard to beat this guy out there in front. It looks like Trevor Mattingly will start on the pole for this final stage. Bobby Mattingly in second, Tim Rogers in third, Aaron Kirby, Tanner Hutchins making up the next row, Brandon Marlowe, Blake Steele, then Jacob Lassiter, Dave Payne, Andrew Payne, and Chuck Darling all rounding out the field for this final stage. Lights are off on the pace truck. That means we are going green flag racing next time by, and it's going to be hard to beat T-Matt, Trevor Mattingly in the 13T out there in front. This is going to be his race to lose, but A lot of hungry drivers behind him as we jump on the loud pedal. Here we go, green flag racing for the final stage here of the ASRC All-Star race. As Trevor Mattingly already goes to that middle group. As you can tell, folks, wasn't able to talk too much about it, but that top side looking very, very slick. You can see it's very dark in that top groove. You got to go to the very top shelf to find some traction as we get a battle for the second place. Tanner Hutchin trying to make it work as we got Bobby Mattingly into the wall. One car sideways, that's Blake Steele, and that will bring out our first caution, our first actual caution of the night, as we will slow them back down to pace car speed, and we'll take a look to see what happened, as I believe Blake Steele very sideways in the slick, got over rotated Dave Payne a lot straighter, trying to carry the momentum, gets in the back of him, and I think race control a little preemptive with the caution flag thrown because everyone able to keep it straight, but that could have been very bad if the likes of Andrew Payne, you know, gets on in there with that yellow. So a heck of a job by all of these cars keeping it straight as we'll ride on board with Andrew Payne and see how little reaction time there is. Luckily, both cars went low. Andrew Payne went to the top side, and everyone able to continue their all-star race when it's all said and done, as we have now 22 laps to go before the end of it. Trevor Mattingly out there in front. Now Tanner Hutchins will get to elect where he wants to start. It looks like he will elect that top side. Of course, you know, you got to pick that high side when you can. Bobby Mattingly will restart in the third position as the lights are once again extinguished on the iRacing pace truck. And we get ready to go back to green flag racing action as the iRacing pace truck heads down pit road. Trevor Mattingly jumps on the loud pedal here. We go back to green flag racing as Tanner Hutchins gets away with a great start. All four of these guys in the top four, part of T-Mat Speed Shop. So all these guys trying to work together. And of course, all these guys very talented when it comes to the dirt side of things. And with these cars all bunched up, folks, we're going to go do everyone's favorite thing. It's the turn 3, turn it up. As we come back to racing action here at the Dirt Bristol Motor Speedway, we got some guys. Most everyone now, as you saw during the speed shots, is to the bottom side. This top side, I think, is too long of a way around the speedway to make anything happen. We see everyone trying to go to this inside line, trying to drive through the slick as we get a yellow flag. Not sure. Oh, it looks like Blake Steele is around. He will be involved in the second, or technically third caution of the night, second actual caution, as we'll take a look at the replay here from the front stretch here. And looks like Blake Steele trying to make that inside line work. And oh man, get some help from Jacob Lassiter. Lassiter gets to the right rear bumper, and oh, Andrew Payne comes in there, nowhere to go. This time Andrew Payne is involved in another Pro Lay model up and over. That's the 12 machine of Blake Steele. He will definitely have some damage, but Andrew Payne with a lot of damage to that front end. So we'll take a look one more time at the yellow. Maybe ride once again on board with Andrew Payne. See this, oh, as you can see there, folks, Lassiter got into the wall, tried to get it unstuck from the iRacing wall glue, and hooked Blake Steele with it. And Andrew Payne trying to guess where that 93 would fly off the wall from. Guess wrong and makes heavy, heavy contact, as maybe we'll jump on board with Jacob Lassiter and see him trying to work that wheel in the GoPro view. As you can see, he had the wheel to the left, to the right, trying to get it back to that right side, and hooks Blake Steele, and around he goes as we'll take a look one more time at the replay, riding from the back deck of Last Star. As you can see, there's the contact that sends Blake Steele into the wall, and he gets ricocheted off that wall right into the path of Andrew Payne, and up and over that 12 cars go with that heavy contact. Jacob Laster does claim that yellow, and it looks like we'll bring that thing pit side. So that will be the end of Laster's night. Andrew Payne probably just trying to limp that car home when it's all said and done. But we are going back to some racing action here. The lights are extinguished on the iRacing pace truck. We get ready to go back green with 16 laps to go. Trevor Mattingly leading the field over Tanner Hutchins. Aaron Kirby now up into the third position with that 91 machine as Mattingly jumps on the loud pedal. Here we go to green flag racing action with 15 laps to go. As Trevor Mattingly so dominant throughout the season, he's won all but one race, and in that race he didn't win. He finished runner-up just by half a car length. So Trevor Mattingly looking to flex his muscles here some more in the All-Star race, show him that he is the All-Star of the season. T-Matt looking very solid. Tanner Hutchins with a nice rebound. Last week he did qualify on pole, but got shuffled on back. Tonight with a nice rebound, running in P number 2. For third now, Aaron Kirby under fire from Brandon Marlowe in the 37 machine as these guys go door to door here in the closing laps of the final stage of the All-Star race. Kirby trying to keep that momentum a little bit better than the 37. 37 trying that very, very low side, trying to put that left front almost on the flat here of Bristol, right to where that berm starts. And the 91 of Kirby just trying to keep that momentum, be nice and smooth, keep that car carrying through that slick stuff. But looks like the advantage to Marlowe here at the start finish line. He's got about a half a car length lead over Aaron Kirby for this third position. Right now this is the best battle on the speedway as Trevor Mattingly has walked away with about a half a second lead over Tanner Hutchins. Brandon Marlowe able to complete the pass. Now let's see what Aaron Kirby can do now that he's back on this inside line for this 97 machine. I know he wants to be talking to me in the broadcast booth here once again with that nice looking 91 machine. The one he runs in real life, I tell you what, that's a nice looking scheme. I bet in the real world as well. A little bit further back, we got Tim Rogers battling Andrew Payne. Andrew's car able to get a little bit fixed, able to tape on another nose. He's battling now with Tim Rogers for the 6th position as Tim continues to try and run this top side, one of the few on the very top in the Skull 48 machine. Chuck Darling out there as well. I think he got his issues fixed and currently running in the 8th position here for this second stage. And Dave Payne not able to get through the field as he wanted to. He picked up the first stage win, but still sits back in the 9th position when it's all said and done. He's trying to figure out maybe how this track has changed, what to do about it, because he cannot be on the top side anymore as that side has been killed when it's all said and done. As Brandon Marlowe creeping on to the back bumper of the 00H machine of Tanner Hutchins. Now to the inside. These guys go door to door here on the front stretch with 5 laps to go. We see here riding on board with Tanner Hutchins. You'll see the 37 machine to his inside, and these guys trying to make it on work, but I think Brandon Marlowe has a little bit of an advantage. And I think he'll almost clear him here heading down into turn number 1. Marlowe, I tell you what, making that inside line work very well for that 37 machine. Maybe if he had a little bit more time, maybe he could get Trevor Mattingly, but he will need another yellow as he's able to clear Brandon Marlowe. And I mean, Tanner Hutchins and Brandon Marlowe looking very sporty late in this run. I tell you what, very impressive to see what he has done to get through this field of all-stars. But this time by at the start finish line, popsicle sticks up in the air for T-Mac. Trevor Mattingly will see 2 laps to go for the 13T. Right now, Tim Rogers continues to battle with, I believe, Dave Payne now, as Payne able to get around Tim Rogers and up into 7th, but this time by white flag for the 13T, the all-star himself, Trevor Mattingly, trying to get the job done and continue his winning streak. Even though this won't help the championship, this will put some money in his pocket, and most importantly, the bragging rights as the all-star winner from 2023 American Sim Racing Club All-Star Race. Trevor Mattingly gets the job done. Brandon Marlowe will finish in the runner-up position. Tanner Hutchins will round out the top 3, but can this guy get stopped? I tell you what, we're doing some old school stuff, Australian Pursuit and whatnot. I think we might need to start putting a bounty out on Trevor Mattingly, something to stop this guy's dominance, because he has been the man. And once again, he'll be the man here tonight at the Dirt Bristol Motor Speedway. Trevor Mattingly will pick up the win and get the job done. So we'll get some interviews here going here in a second, but first we'll go to commercial break and we'll be right back on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Alrighty, folks, we come back to the Dirt Bristol Motor Speedway, and the first guy we got to talk to, we talked to him a little bit. That would be the 38 machine of Dave Payne, picking up the win in the first stage. We'll be talking to him first. Dave, you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth.
Hey, Brett. Yeah, I can hear you.
Alrighty, man. So we talked to you a little bit before that final stage. Man, that looked difficult out there. What'd you think of it now being stuck in that field? You know, some dirt flinging on that visor of yours.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it changed a lot, man. It was really slick, and I was really struggling to control the car in the slick, and the top just really got roasted off, and I was bouncing off the wall. I took some damage. I think I got into Blake once or twice, and then so it took me too long to figure it out. I finally got it figured out. Like I was looking all over for the grip. I think I finally found it, like kind of in the marbles around the middle to low middle line, and I could see that's where some of the leaders were running. So I started running that, and I grabbed back a couple positions. But man, it was it was tough. It seemed like really easy in the first 50 laps. Like I was just kind of on the top and just ripping it. And a couple times I was searching around, and the line was going back down to the bottom, but I was not prepared for how hard it was to control the car in the slick when we took the green for the final segment there.
Yeah, and it seemed like from the drop of the hat, Dave, that final segment, the top side was pretty much killed, and it seemed like no one wanted to run up there and just trying to keep that car as smooth as you could through the slick. Was that the case in the mid-pack there that you're stuck?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like there was nothing. I think maybe there was a few laps where there was a little bit left, but eventually it just got roasted all the way up to the wall, and it was really hard to hit it right and not hit the wall at the same time, and like I said, from everyone that I could see, they all moved to the middle or down on the bottom, and that's like takes a lot of finesse and a lot of throttle control, and that's kind of really what separates the really good guys. You see Trevor every week doing it, Brandon, Jacob, everybody's down there, and they know how to control these cars. And me, I'm a little bit behind a curveball, but I mean, I'll take a 7th place finish, after winning the first segment. And I'm just glad I was able to kind of get a hang of it in the last maybe 5 to 8 laps and grab back a couple spots, and then had a real good fight with Tim there at the end.
Yeah, Dave, it was a good fight throughout the field. I tell you what, there's battles going on throughout. And Dave, a little bit of the hot streak continuing for you with that stage win from last week, and some bright stuff looking for you. What's looking like for the future of this 38 machine?
I don't know. It's just a good couple weeks. Nothing changes. I just keep doing the best I can each week. You know, like I think I've talked to you about it before. I feel like I'm a top 5 guy. Like if I can get into the top 5, then I consider it a successful night. Just outside of the top 5, I'll take that too. You know, it seems like in all our series, there's at least, you know, 2, 3, 4 guys that it's going to be really difficult for me to beat. Like I have to have some luck fall in my favor in order to get to beat them. But you know, I don't know. We're just taking it one race at a time and trying to have fun while we go.
Yep, Dave, that's the key. Well, before we let you go and celebrate the stage 1 victory and of course the 7th place when it's all said and done, I'll hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank on the car, and if you want to give any shout outs to the Daddy Dave fan club.
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the MILFs and all the men want to be me, the ladies want to be with me. You know, it's normal. It's been like that my whole life. So, you know, thank all those fans. But I got to give a special shout out to Zach Heiser, who put this series together, and this night in particular. Going into it, I was thinking in my head, like, man, there's a lot of irons in the fire. There's a lot of things that we're trying to do that we've never done before, and I think it went really, really well throughout the entire night. There were no real hiccups. All the guys seemed to really enjoy it. Everybody did a great job. So thanks to Zach, and then of course, you know, ASRC for giving us a platform to race on each week, and then finally my forever better half for putting up with my 42-year-old ass playing video games on a Sunday night.
Alrighty, Dave. Well, awesome stuff for you. Always a pleasure talking to you. And yeah, keep this hot streak rolling, and hopefully we'll be talking to you some more in the future, Dave. Have yourself a great rest of the night.
Thanks, you too, Brett.
Alrighty, folks, and now we'll dial up some of our top 3 finishers. Our 3rd place finisher, that being Tanner Hutchins in the double OH machine. Tanner, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
I do. You got a copy?
I got you loud and clear. Tanner, I tell you what, that was a heck of a run by you here tonight. How was this car in the first stage, and then, of course, that second stage where you gave it your all, but in the end, I tell you what, heck of a battle by everyone in here, and especially you.
Yeah, I mean, that track slicked off pretty fast with the cars we had out there, and I was just kind of struggling myself, really, to try and hold her down there and still keep it straight. But I knew right there at the end, I seen Brandon coming up on me, and I said, well, I might as well just sit back and let him go by me. I'll still take a top 3.
Yep, that's nothing to complain about with the caliber of racers that we had here tonight. You made pretty quick work over Bobby Madley with that start, with that inside line, and then Tanner, you had to have your sights on T-Matt there a little bit, but I tell you what, he's tough to beat. And then, yeah, like you said, the track continued to get slick, and then you saw Brandon catching you, and I know you're probably like, oh man, watching that mirror.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, this is my first ever interview I've done, so bear with me on this. But yeah, we come off at start there, and I didn't know what happened to Bobby, and I tried to go after Trevor, and I was like, I ain't no sense in even trying with running after him. I'll just sit back here and claim a spot for a little bit.
Yeah, I gotta ask him what he's paying Zach or something to start on the pole with the invert. It's like, come on, man, that's a little fishy or something there.
Yeah, most definitely. Gotta be something going on under the table.
Exactly. But yeah, Tanner, I want to say some pretty good redemption for you from last time we had you out on the speedway. You know, you were quick time, but fell back. I think you I don't know if you got bumped around or moved out of the groove or whatnot, but you fell back outside of the interview positions, like you said. Hoping to talk to you at some point in the season. Glad we're talking to you here in the All-Star race, but I think a little bit of redemption for you after, you know, such a good start to the last time we saw you out on track, and to come away with the 3rd position, like I said, with this caliber, you got to pat yourself on the back with that.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I was expecting it to happen sometime this season, really just not at this track, to be honest with you. I ain't really the best at this track. I ain't my strongest, I guess.
Yeah, this track is very tough. You know, at first, wide open, as smooth as you can be, and then it seemed like, yeah, once that second stage started, everyone was pretty much fighting for that very inside line.
Yeah, this track for most of the race was really a 1-lane track until right there at the end when you pretty much had to pick a line and run it.
Yeah, Tanner, well, before we let you go and celebrate this 3rd place finish here tonight, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank on the car and anyone watching at home watching the stream.
Well, I'd like to thank my teammates, Trevor and Bobby and Aaron, FMS Rapid Graphics for the killer wraps on all of our cars on the team, and Granny's Garage, I reckon, you all for putting the broadcast on, and the league. So, I mean, I'm just kind of ecstatic, really, because I've never done this. So, I guess that's about all I got.
Alrighty, like I said, Tanner, it will come to you. You know, these broadcast interviews get easier and easier as you do more of them, and I think you got a few more up your sleeve before it's all said and done. So, Tanner, once again, congrats on a third place finish. Heck of a drive by you, and once again, congrats on that, and hopefully we'll be talking to you some more here in the future.
Yeah, I hope so too. I appreciate it.
Alrighty, that was our third place finisher, Tanner Hutchins. Now we'll talk to the man that was on a move. He finishes runner-up. That's Brandon Marlowe in the 37 machine. Brandon, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth.
Yes, sir. I got you.
Alrighty, man. I was introducing you with you were on a move there at the end. I tell you what, how were you doing that? And man, that 37 machine looked very strong there in those closing laps.
The track was real slick there at the end, so it was just trying to drive it in the corner as straight as possible and drive off the corner straight as possible. Just, you know, not scrub any speed. That was the key there at the end.
Yeah, I tell you what, you had that thing down to a T. I think if we got a yellow flag, I know it's hard to make a run there with the Delaware double restarts when it's all said and done for the race lead, but I think you might have had something there for Trevor there at the end, because you were a man on a mission, I tell you what.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. I mean, it adds an extra curve to it with the invert and everything, but you know, anytime you can run good and pass cars, it's a fun time.
That it is. And I tell you what, Dirt Bristol, you know, not known to be super racy, you know, it's kind of single file line as we saw a lot of this race, but there at the end, I tell you what, if you could make a line work for yourself, you were on the move, and you yourself, Brandon, you were definitely on the move there.
Appreciated it. It was definitely a good run.
Yeah, it was. So overall, I mean, what would you think of the all-star format here tonight? I know you do a little bit of real life racing, is that correct?
I did in the past. I haven't a few years now, but the Australian Pursuit was something I'd never seen before, so that was interesting. Just trying not to get past, you know, and to not get eliminated. And then just the invert, you know, like some people try to play it, some don't. It's, you know, it's just a mixed bag there. But like I said, anytime you can just pass cars and keep moving forward, and you know, it makes for a fun race.
That it does, Brandon. And it was great to watch. I can't wait. I hate the sound of my voice, but I can't wait to rewatch this broadcast back, because there's some great stuff going on in a lot of great formats. But Brandon, we've been talking to you a lot this season. You know, you're one of the all-stars of the series. And before we let you go and celebrate this runner-up finish here tonight, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank and for this great all-star race here.
I just got to give a shout out to the guys at Hot Lap Hero Racing for all their help. 789 Designs for the wrap on the car. Everybody with ASRC for putting this league on. It's a fun deal. Hope, you know, more drivers, you know, join and have some more people come out to race. All you guys with Turn 3 for putting on a good broadcast. And I got to give a shout out to my daughter Addison and then my wife for letting me come in here and have some fun and race on a Sunday night. Alrighty,
well, awesome stuff from you, Brandon. You go celebrate this runner-up finish, because you definitely earned it. You drove through that field, you drove your butt off, and like I said, you're definitely one of the all-stars of the series. So Brandon, always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, man.
Alrighty, and now we'll dial up the man of the hour, the all-star himself, the 13T of Trevor Mattingly. T-Matt, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, man. You are the all-star. I tell you what, would you slide Zach there to start on the pole? I mean, how does that work out when it's all said and done?
Well, we inverted after after 50, and I was having a little carburetor issues, and I just couldn't get her going there, so I just we had that caution. I cleaned her out, and she ran fine after the last 25. Somehow started on the pole.
Yep, there you go. That's the best place to start, especially here at Dirt Bristol. And I tell you what, Trevor, those last 25 laps, you start there out in front and you don't look back. And I was giving Brandon a lot of credit. You know, he was making that inside line work, driving through that slick. But man, I don't think there's too many better people on the sim to drive through the slick like that 13T.
Yeah, I normally struggle. Like in hot laps, I wasn't even top 5 in times, and I was like, uh-oh, this is gonna be a long night. And ended up once the track slicked off, and right there for qualifying, I actually hit the line right for once, and set quick time, and that invert. The invert was really interesting. Made for a fun night. Sitting there racing through the field with them guys. Just about all these guys are about as clean as you can be. You couldn't ask for better guys to race next to, you know. And it was fun. That Australian pursuit was definitely interesting. That's the first time I've ever done that.
Yeah, I was going to say, Trevor, how'd you think of all the formats, especially that Australian pursuit? You know, you start dead last, you know, you get to pass everyone if you can, and you made yourself all the way up to 4th, and that's pretty impressive, especially with the all-star drivers we had out here tonight, and then overall throughout the rest of the race, and it produced a lot of great action. What'd you think of it?
Honestly, with it being Bristol, I knew it was going to be tougher than it normally would be, so I'd like to see it at maybe 1 or 2 of our other races and see how it goes, because it's there for the longest time here. It was around the high side, and you just had to wait for the guy in front of you to mess up before you could make a move, and it went well, though. It was fun. I had a whole lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, I tell you what, Trevor, you in the heat race pulled off, of course, one of your Trevor Mattingly moves, slide jobbing with Tanner Hutchins, and you get the job done, slide into second. I'm like, man, that guy's on the next level to make a move like that around the place like this, even with that middle line already slicked off as far as it was.
Yeah, I gotta congratulate Tanner on his 3rd place win, man. That's his first interview, and I'm like a proud dad right now. It brings a tear to my eye.
Yeah, he had a great interview, so he was very excited to be talking with me in the booth. I was excited to talk to him, you know, told him it was a little bit of redemption from last time we saw everyone on track with him getting quick time and then shuffled on back, sadly outside the interview spot. So it was very good to talk to him with some, like I said, a little bit of redemption. But yeah, Trevor, I tell you what, man, I think just like old school stuff, you know, Australian pursuits, all that fun stuff, I think we got to put a bounty on you or something, man. I mean, how are we going to take you from this top spot?
Bring it on, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah, maybe I'll shell out a few dollars, put a bounty on you or something, and see if we can have someone come on in here and challenge you. But I tell you what, Trevor, it's a blast to watch you. You put on a heck of a show every time you show up, and I tell you what, you got to be starting to get pretty good at these interviews with me.
Yeah, I feel like we got it going on. You know, it's definitely fun to come in here and run good, because like I ran the icebreaker the other day and I was running like crap, and you know, I come in here and run good, so it definitely feels good to run up front.
Yeah, that's the case, Trevor. It always feels good to pick up some wins, but I tell you what, to put on a dominant performance like this season, and to pick up the All-Star win on top of it, you're showing why you're the points leader and you're one of the best here at ASRC. And I tell you what, I think if you want to be fast, I think you got to be part of that T-Mat Speed Shop, I tell you what.
There we go.
But before I let you go, Trevor,
I run what I sell.
Oh, what was that?
Said I run what I sell, 100%.
There you go. Well, before we let you go and celebrate another win, this time a big All-Star win. You know, you become the first All-Star winner of the Dirt Series, so not only you get a ton of bragging rights, you know, a little bit of extra cash in your pocket, but before I let you go and claim that title and get to brag about it to everyone else, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank for this 13 team, this awesome run and season you've been having.
Yeah, I got to thank Aaron Kirby for the wrap. He was straight busting ass the last day to get me, Tanner, Bobby, and himself a wrap done, and he knocked it out of the park. Really got to thank him, and thank you all for the broadcast. You do a heck of a job. I go back and watch just about every one, and I enjoy watching it the whole time. You have good quality stuff, and you know you don't have to squint to see whenever you watch it like some of these broadcasters. And Team at Speed Shop. Got to thank Granny's Garage. It's a new sponsor. We just got put on the car. It's actually me and Tanner's deal. We're gonna start building go-kart motors this coming year, and we'll see where that takes us. Might run some go-karts in real life. Can't afford the big stuff, so.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you got any big buck guys out there looking to put a driver in, I tell you, this is the guy right here to put him in. And I tell you what, Trevor, whatever you strap yourself into, I'm sure you'll be kicking butt like you always do.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Have a happy new year, and like I said, thanks for everything.
Yep, no problem, Trevor. I'm sure we'll be talking to you some more here in the future, and you have yourself a great one. Go celebrate it.
Yes, sir. You too.
Alrighty, folks, that will do it for the interviews here tonight. Trevor Mattingly picks up the All-Star win and gets the job done. So, folks, it's been a great one here as we wrap on up. And I tell you what, that was a bunch of fun. I can't wait to rewatch this. That was a show with all the different events. So we'll run through tonight's finishing results of the ASRC All-Star Race. Trevor Mattingly in the 13T gets the job done. Brandon Marlowe in the 37 finishes in second. Third goes to Tanner Hutchins in the double OH machine. Fourth is Aaron Kirby in the 91. Rounding out the top five is Bobby Mattingly in the 3. Sixth goes to Andrew Payne in the 93. Seventh is Dave Payne in the 38. Eighth is Tim Rogers in the 48. Ninth is Chuck Darling in the 88. A lot of eights there. Blake Steele in the 12 rounds out the top 10. And Jacob Lassiter, who parked it there at the end, finishes in 11. So, folks, that will do it for the ASRC All-Star Race from 2023. That was a heck of a show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. And I tell you what, hopefully we'll see some more like that here in the future. Hopefully everyone had a great New Year's. I know I did. I'm excited for 2023 and what it brings. Trevor Mattingly gets the job done. He is the All-Star, the man with the title here till someone can dethrone him. I've been Brett the Jet in the booth from Turn 3 Racing Network. Be sure to tune into Turn 3 throughout the week to catch all your race needs. We got a lot of great broadcasts, a lot of great series, and a lot of great broadcasters. Be sure to tune in next week for some regular season action of the American Sim Racing Club with these Pro Late models and see your favorite drivers out there on track. If you want to join, be sure to check out AmericanSimRacingClub.com. Everyone have a good New Year, and we'll catch you on the flip side. I've been Brett the Jet, and I just flew